It's the Full Force News Burst, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod, AKA Diagnostic 80. Now let's get into the news. Full force indeed. Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing well this Wednesday, late afternoon, I don't know, it's 3:45. Hello, hope everyone is doing well. I guess I've gone a little earlier today than usual, because you know how things are. You got to squeeze life in and around everything that's happening. So we are going to be talking about the leaked promo images for the Ghost Viper and for Short-Fuze and Steeler, which of course we'll be getting into the details of that in a little while and all that good stuff. But first, how's everybody doing? How's everyone in the chat? Hello, hi, it's me, Real Zim, Derek Holeman, Tim Pedersen, Paul Plastic Battles, Jordan from Canada. You know the Jordan, it's the one from Canada, and HK Viper. Hello, everybody who's watching. And of course, hello to those who aren't watching yet. What? Or that are watching and I don't know because you're not saying anything in the comments. Hello, Bad Wolf and Stygian as well. Right. So we're talking softball from Maine to San Diego. No, we're talking about promo images, and let's get stuck in right this second. Yeah, so the deal is 2 eBay listings went up today, courtesy of, who was it again? The Thunderous Superstore on eBay. Now, it's not the weirdest thing in the world for companies to put pre-orders for products that aren't out yet, of course, even on eBay, especially when like some promo images are out. However, it looks as though a ton of promo images were used for this one, so effectively leaking all the promo images by you know, as far as I can tell, for Short-Fuze and Steeler 2-pack, and of course the Ghost Viper with Dire Beasts. Now we posted this on the socials, of course, already, so you can go, and if you want to check those listings out, you can. What I will say, of course, it's on eBay. And it's very expensive. It's like 89 something dollars. So it's not like you're getting it for, you know, a reasonable amount. It's going to be a lot more, I believe, going that direction. But yeah, just so you can just give everyone a heads up, the images leaked through this eBay account, these account listings, and that's where we got them from and why we have them. Now, more like, so that's that bit out of the way, and like I said, if you want to risk it, you're more than welcome to, but honestly, with that sort of stuff, you're probably better off just waiting for the standard pre-orders, honestly. If you can get it at the, you know, the retail price, that's obviously makes more sense, doesn't it? And I believe on those listings they're not shipping until like November, December time anyway, so it's not like they've got them in stock so that you can buy them, kind of thing. So yeah, in any case, let's talk about the actual images themselves, because now that they're out, we can get kind of stuck into them a little bit early by all accounts. Now, I would expect, based on the fact that we have these images are out now, that the Target exclusive Short-Fuze and Steeler will probably be available on Friday, because obviously with Target Full Geek Out happening, Friday's the closest one to this leak happening, so I would expect Friday morning. Was it 9 a.m. Eastern? I think it's 9 a.m. Eastern. I would keep an eye out Friday morning for that and expect to pick them up. Speaking of Short-Fuze and Steeler, let's have a look at that 2-pack now. Someone has asked, any hidden surprises in the promo images? Asks Mark P587. Not that I can tell. Yeah, actually, no, I tell a lie. There's a couple of little things we can point out, but we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to it when we get to it, Mark. Yeah, how's that sound? Loads of snake armors in the background as well. Hi, it's me. Says, oh, your direwolf leaked on me. No, it didn't. Do I know when that 2-pack goes on pre-order, Derek? Yes, just said. Again, assumptions at the moment, but I mean, let's face it, it's pretty likely, isn't it? Friday, Target Full Geek Out. Just expect that. I mean, I believe Marvel Legends are going up, so it sounds like a sort of Hasbro related Friday by all accounts, doesn't it? Lovely to see how much Classified has done through the years, says Jordan. It really is crazy, actually. What we in like we're in year 5. It's nuts. Um, and so many figures. Like I've got 2 IKEA 4x4 like bookcase displays full. One of Joe, one of Cobra, and it is absolutely mind blowing how much has come out in that period of time, and that we're in the 5th anniversary of it. It's nuts. Anyway, anywhosen, let's move through. So this is the obviously the 2-pack box. Nothing crazy going on here. It's what you'd expect. Ralph Steeler Pulaski and Short-Fuze. Some really good stuff in the render image on the back, though. For one thing, you may notice that in the background they have highlighted. Well, let's have a look. Should we zoom in? You can see in the background, I'll zoom in a little bit more as well in a second. You can see something in the background there that looks a little bit Mass Device-y. Now, this isn't Mass Device branded. If we look at this front of the box, there's no Mass Device logo on there. We've got all the elements for the Mass Device. We've got enhanced. I'll just print the damn image. Just print the damn picture or whatever he says. I can't remember now. But yeah, we've already had your divers, your target breaker, and what was the other one? Fanmason, Snake Eyes, and the polar bear. So we've got elements. We've got the Mass Device elements. When we heard about this listing, by the way, this 2-pack, and the fact that it was Target, my detective mind went. It's not that I've got a detective mind, but you know what I mean. From doing this stuff for donkey's years, my mind went straight to the fact. I thought, oh, I wonder if this is like a Mass Device related 2-pack. And lo and behold, it wasn't. But it kind of is when you go onto the back shot here. And Kitty said, and enhance and enhance. I can't believe that worked. Worked. I mean, I've pre-planned it, but it's funny. And then in the background there, you can see the sort of like the what do you call it? Like the trolley that's used by the trooper. I mean, obviously in the Mass Device as well, carrying the elements, but like they did this toy version as well, didn't they? In like the DVD packs back in the 4-inch days, and they've kind of replicated that in the background here. It's a shame, and I bloody wonder if the plan was with this 2-pack at some point to also make it Mass Device like related, and it was maybe would they going to give you this trolley with the square block elements on it, because you can also see the other elements separate to the right hand side between Steeler's legs, I believe. And yeah, like the 3 elements, as Bad Wolf Media says here, look a little more pastel-y in terms of the colors. They do, yes. Jeff's just thought it was Steeler's berries hanging low, lols. But in any case, it's, I don't know, it's quite interesting to me, and also very telling that they would put obviously Mass Device elements in the background, because they're OG-13. They're kind of like characters from that particular miniseries as well. These could be Energon related, Jedi Ben. Yes, indeed, as opposed to the other mass. But then again, that one looks like a kebab on the left. The one in the middle is probably was it Heavy Water, and then the one on the right is Snake Eyes radioactive one. So they're the right colors, and it's probably just washed out from the image not being perfect and being a little bit background as well. But you can tell that it's like the kebab meat one on the left in the middle of the legs, and the Heavy Water one in the middle, and you can tell that's the radioactive one from Snake Eyes on the right. So they're the correct colors there. They just sort of like look a little bit weirder, don't they, in those kind of like clear boxes. But again, I wouldn't read too much into that. But I definitely think maybe that was costed out, the trolley with the 3 box elements, box version, possibly, I don't know, because when you look at the set, it's actually pretty stacked already, and you're not going to get much else in this pack up, are you really? So yeah, I wonder what that was all about, honestly. But it's nice that they've thrown it in there to sort of tie these guys into those Mass Device releases, or specific themed mass device releases. But yeah, I hate having kebab meat between my legs, says Bad Wolf Media. Absolutely. Yes, definitely a tent in the background as well, Mark P587. Reminiscent of, I'm just going to throw this one out here because it's the only tent I can think of off the top of my head. And yes, there have been loads of tents in G.I. Joe. But like in the cartoon in Arise the Pencil Arise, when they're talking about deoxyribonucleic acid and they're explaining that for the first time, still can't believe I learned most of my knowledge comes from G.I. Joe cartoons, which is probably a bad thing, but it made me want to learn more about everything. So yeah, and I was always confused as to who was it Xanath Amon Toth was, and then it turns out they've just made up. But yes, there's one moment when they're talking about DNA and they're in a kind of like makeshift tent, and I believe like Gung Ho and Mutton Junkyard or someone, one of the dumber, like the ones that come across a little dumber, are walking past asking the question, and then I think Gung Ho answers him, it's the building blocks of life, or whatever. Whoever, I can't remember who he's talking to, but I was really surprised at the fact that whoever said what DNA was knew what it was. In any case, that kind of reminds me of that with the tent in the background. I might be going a little bit too deep there. It's just a tent in a forest at the end of the day, isn't it? It may even have happened in the mass device itself, and I just can't remember. Smiler67 says the real question to ask is what's in the tents behind the mass elements. How about that? Snake armors, obviously, right? Anyway, need a Baroness and Valkyrie WWE 2-pack, says Scott Skeen. Worlds Without End. I'm thinking, like, when was the Baroness and well, I thought you meant Taya Valkyrie, and there's another wrestler in Mexico, I think, or South America, who has a Baroness theme going on. They dress up like the Baroness. They even have the Cobra logo fully like out there, and you kind of think, sometimes no one's really caring at that point about the IP being utilized. But yeah, for a second there, Scott, I thought you were talking about those two wrestlers. But no, yes, Worlds Without End 2-pack, Baroness and Valkyrie would be really cool. Bad Wolf says that tent appears to be a GP medium, might be a GP large. That would be a hell of a pack-in or accessory pack to get. Yeah, yeah, big time. Is GP general purpose? I'm not sure if the I'm not 100% au fait with the terminology there, but you can let me know. It's Dino DNA, says Jedi Ben. I like it. Jeff Russell says, Chris, what's the shape near Steeler's Uzi on his left hip? Left hip. What's I've got to work this out. The shape near Steeler's Uzi on his left hip. So the Uzi on his left hip, the shape. Do you mean the tent in the background? I think it's just an L-shaped tent that's poking like sticking out in two directions. If that's what you mean, is that the bivouac? Says Jeff. That's a good shout, actually, Jeff. They could be. Yeah, I don't think it is because it's like covered, and it's like a covered sort of building tent. But I would, yeah, because it's like you can see that it kind of like it's almost like an L-shaped sort of building sort of situation, from what I can tell anyway. Behind the palm tree, as in not the clear and obvious tent that's connected to the other tent. Do you mean a bit further to the right? Let me have a look on the phone and see if I can zoom in and get some real close-ups here. Yeah, it looks like a build off of the tent on the other side that you can see between the two of them. I think it's just like an elongated tent building sort of thing. Yes, general purpose tents, and they're a pain in the ass to put up, says Bad Wolf Media. Dino Hunters confirmed, says Scott, with Dino DNA. That wasn't even me that said it. I just repeated someone's comment. Do we have a price, says Long Online? I don't think so yet. There's a price on the eBay listing, but not an official price from Hasbro yet because it's not out yet. So that'll be something we have to wait for Friday morning. And I'm assuming Friday morning, but I'd be really surprised if it wasn't Friday at 9 a.m. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. So just like I said, stay frosty on Friday morning, okay? And if it's not there, you can yell at me for having to get up early, especially if you're on like the West Coast or a different part of the globe. Yeah, and then you blame it all on me. But I would just let's just play it safe for now. And I would also expect it not just to be on target, but also to be on pulse as well, in small amounts for premium members. Let's get it all out in the open. Premium members, 9 a.m. for pulse is my guess on that one as well. Okay. Right, further on the right. Yeah, I think it's behind the palm tree. I think it is literally just extra tent. I think it's just one big tent building. I know exactly what you're saying, bud. But I think it's actually the sky because it's the same color as the sky. Like right all the way further to the right. But yeah, because it's like trees and what have you, isn't it? I've zoomed in as far as I can, and I think it is. That's all it is. Unless you see something else, then like take a picture of it, draw around it, and then send it to me or something and go, that's what I was talking about, you idiot. And you can call me an idiot. That's totally fine. Let's stay frosty. Wendy's confirmed. Indeed. I like that they featured that they have heads, says hi. It's me. I know, right? It's quite funny that. So yeah, the feature, like the call outs, I call them. But yeah, feature, same kind of thing in it. To the right hand side of the image, you've got the two heads, on show. Short-Fuze at the top, Steeler in the middle, and then at the bottom you just have blast effects. It's just the blast effects that you get with it, which is an interesting call out. Interesting call out. Either way, that's what we're looking at for these. Now, there's the zoom in. Sorry, that's a proper zoom in, which I looked at earlier. Here are the figures and what they come with. Quite stacked in terms of gear. And they've sort of made them interesting enough, I think, with these two, like changing the greens up, sort of like, again, I say changing them up, but you know what I mean? Like not just doing a kit bash and keeping them all the same color, like changing some elements up a little bit. And of course, Steeler's helmet with the visor is wicked. So I'm glad we've got that in the line now. Yeah, like they come with a ton of stuff. So looks like Steeler gets the submachine gun with silencer, the pistol, two knives, the little shovel, and then which I think is an homage, isn't it, to his Mobat? There's a little shovel on that, isn't there? I want to say, and then you have blast effects, which are kind of effectively shared. Obviously, some make sense to go with the mortar cannon, and then the rest are just to do with as you will for the weapons, the rest of the weapons. So the kind of blast effects are a shared scenario. Then you have Short-Fuze, who has a little bit extra gear going on here. He has the sort of like frame backpack in the middle there, which I was confused as to what that was until I saw one of the images of him carrying the mortar, and it's obviously just to carry the mortar. But that's really great. It means he's got a backpack, and the mortar acts as a backpack. So I'm very happy about that. The mortar cannon as well, which looks really cool and articulated. A mortar shell. Only one mortar round, it looks like, Gomez BJ. Yeah, you'll have to just get like 12 2-packs if you want more than if you want more than one mortar shell. He's also got the helmet, which is kind of similar to Steelers, but with a clear visor instead of the kind of very specific kind of pointy visor. Which is very, very iconic for Steeler. And then Short-Fuze also comes with a couple of cool weapons. So he's got that rifle, which again, you guys are gonna have to help me here because I don't recognize that rifle at the top. Obviously the second one is Outback, isn't it? And then the pistol I think we've seen before, but I don't recognize. And you probably just go, well, it's Recondo's maybe because of the straps, but I don't know off the top of my head. Can someone just confirm that rifle for me on the top, please? Because I don't recognize it. Snake Eyes weapons. So Snake Eyes weapons. Oh yeah, the Uzi and the pistol, yeah, and the knives. And then Steeler got Short-Fuze rated Outback. Is that Outback's rifle as well? I know obviously you got Outback's other rifle, but that one at the top, it does look like it looks like it would be Recondo's rifle, but it could be brand new. brand new, brand new, brand new. And then you've got, I don't know what that is. Oh, there is glasses, aren't they? Such a weird angle to take the picture of the glasses, isn't it? Why wouldn't you take them like either like that so you could see the shape, like the U shape, or from the front? That's perplexing to me. Oh, it is a Recondo. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Okay, so he gets Recondo's rifle, he gets Outback's rifle, and that pistol, which I can't remember whose pistol it is, but I'm pretty certain we've seen that already. And yeah, and again, like in terms of the figures themselves, effective kit bashes. Um, oh, is it Outback's pistol as well? Thank you, Scott. But again, yeah, like all cool. They're geared up. Let's face it. And the important thing is the mortar, and the backpack for me in Short-Fuze's scenario here. For Steeler, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say when we heard that this 2-pack was coming, I was a little disappointed. Not that I expect us to get a Mobat or a Mauler or something that you could use Steeler for, but you know, like it's one of those things where it's kind of like the Copperhead conundrum or the Cover Girl situation, or they're both conundrums actually, where they bring the figure out multiple times in both in both cases. As vehicle drivers, they don't come with their vehicles, and I feel like the friggin' Wolverine is within reach. Like I feel like that is a doable vehicle, Kitty said. And I feel like I feel the same about the water moccasin. I don't think either of those need to be like HasLabs or anything. So I'm a little bit, I'm irked that we're in a position, and again, a lot of it is due to timing and the development of the line and the budget they had when they started Classified, and the fact that they wanted to do certain characters, like Copperhead, who's a major character. Same with Covergirl. The major characters without the vehicles, absolutely, but not having them is if they feel incomplete a little bit. And the same is going to feel. I think I'm going to feel the same here about Steeler. I'm going to feel like he's a little incomplete. That's not to say that he doesn't. Maybe they do a tank in the future, right? Maybe they do like a Mobat or a Mauler in the future, and they reuse. Let's say if they did the Mauler, which I think would be probably my preference. It's my preference over a Mobat, and I know a lot of people would have different opinions on that. But I personally would love a Mauler, and then you could do like a Night Force Steeler, just the same figure, just redecoed, what have you, and you could put him in as a kind of like a tier level figure for like a Mauler HasLab. So like that I could see, and maybe even a CoverGirl Mad Marauders figure in that tier as well, just to kind of go with the sort of tank team. That said, there is a possibility, though, isn't there, that they could do another cover girl with a Wolverine down the line that kind of had yet another different head sculpt, because, of course, we've got the long blonde hair retro and we've got the sort of first Classified iteration. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. There's options for them to be utilized with a vehicle again. It's just, I don't know, there's an opportunity, I think, there still, even though we've had 2 cover girls. And what do you do with Copperhead? How would you do Copperhead? Because we've had regular Copperhead, we've had Python Copperhead. It doesn't leave much else with Copperhead, does it? To stop saying Copperhead, to do like a water moccasin version. I think one of the things that popped up was the possibility of coming with a Swamp Viper. Kitty said, if you did a water moccasin, you could do the Swamp Viper, which was a figure that came out. Just Jeff 45 says rambling. Sorry, is that a problem? Do you want me to tighten it up a little bit? Okay, I just thought it was a nice conversation to have. I'll move on then for Jeff. Right, so that is the figures and what you get with them, and of course here they are, showing those weapons and gear that they come with. Build a figure Mobat. That would be a bit mental, Stygian. Figures look nice, says KY Trucking 67. Mark from Talking Joe, hello. Z Force Steeler and Tank. That would be crazy good. Copperhead with removable helmet is a good shout as well, Gomez. Yeah, I like that. That is a good shout. I like it. Plague infected Steeler variant and tank. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, yeah, I'll move on. Here we have the actual promo images as well. So we get Steeler here in 2 shots side by side. Sean says Swamp Viper version 2 would be a good add to it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Every time I see CoverGirl, I can't help hear that New Kids on the Block song, says Jordan from Canada. Brilliant. Are you Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block? The Hunter says, why people complain that CoverGirl looks older is beyond me. She had a full modeling career before becoming a Joe because she got bored. Yeah, I don't see why anyone's complaining about that. I enjoy your ramblings, Chris, says Tac Tac. Not everyone, clearly. Yes, Studio Henge, that is very true. The Stinger is 50% off on BBTS right now. Do you think they overproduced it, or does this point to vehicles not selling so well when not exclusive on Pulse? I don't know. Actually, I think it's a distribution issue. I think it's a shipping and distribution error or problem or issue. I don't think it's anything to do with the popularity, because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the Stinger's dope, and I won't hear anything else about it. Wait, Chris, how do you remember the names of the members of New Kids on the Block? Well, one, Sean Fredericks. I am a huge New Kids on the Block fan and was since day one. And I was also a massive fan of Jordan Knight when he did Give It To You. Do you remember that track, that banger? Go search Jordan Knight, Give It To You, and tell me that is not an absolute banger. Jedi Ben says all of us of a certain age remember should indeed. Night Force CoverGirl wouldn't be a miss, says the Hunter. Yes, I think CoverGirl would do well in the Marauders because that in itself was sort of like a heavy vehicle sort of tank team, wasn't it? In a sense. Anywho, how good would it be if they made Marauders CoverGirl to go with is it the Lynx? I think it's the Lynx that's sort of like some of the Wolverine and then a different weapon system. But how cool would that be? Just do one of the Marauders vehicles with a Marauder version of CoverGirl. I think it would be so good. Mark says they're clearing out Stingers so they can produce Tiger Sting or Vamp version 2. Wishful thinking. If it was wishful thinking, I think you'd be going Special Weapons Force, mate. Yeah, the Lynx. I thought so. Steeler and Short-Fuse are Night Force. Was Short-Fuse Night Force as well? Has he had a Night Force iteration? I'm going to have to check that out. I can't remember. I don't recall Short-Fuse in Night Force. I 100% remember Steeler in the club, the exclusives, but I don't recall Short-Fuse. And it's going to be one of those dumb, of course he was. I wrote Shirt-Fuse in here. Short-Fuse. Let's have a look. Excuse me. So, yeah, was there a Night Force? Oh, of course, in the blooming Toys R Us pack. Of course. That was Night Force, wasn't it? Yeah, because it was the same deco with the same deco with Beachhead and all those guys, wasn't it? Yeah, Beachhead and Action Man and Flint, of course. Yeah, Short-Fuse and Steeler 2-pack Night Force would absolutely work. I think the thing that throws me with that Short-Fuse is just the actual mold. It was like basically downtown, wasn't it? Which was a nice shout out actually from the club. Well, no, that wasn't from the club, from Hasbro. In that sort of like downtown is also a mortar soldier, and I wonder if they just chose Short-Fuse because the downtown name rights were done, because that might have been a possibility, because at that point in like the early 2000s they were really just doing anything, honestly. They were just throwing anything together to hoping it stuck against the wall. Blitz says, guess I've bought Stingers at every retail price point now. Indeed. Sean says, I will admit, I never heard that song from Jordan Knight. Says it came out in 1999, was still in the army at that time, so it was mostly metal, some grunge rock, and country in our barracks. Brilliant. Yeah, it's a banger of a tune. There was a grey and red unmasked copperhead that could accompany the vehicle. Yes, Long and Line. We talked about the unmasked option a little while ago, and you're totally right. Anyway, coming back to these, here we have now on the left we have Short-Fuse, on the right we have Steeler again from a different angle, and you can see that sort of backpack rack being utilized for the mortar there as well, which is really dope. The mortar launcher. Here we have them just shooting into the trees. Obviously, there must be predator, must be about. And this is them trying to get to the chopper as well. It's cool that yes, Steeler has literally picked Short-Fuse up. He's clearly injured at this point, and is carrying him through the jungle whilst Short-Fuse shoots at the enemy from behind. Very cool, very cool indeed. Who is left of the 13? Asks Crimson Cobra Commander. I believe it's Grand Slam, Zap, and well, you could argue Shooter to a degree. Like I say, the original Shooter, but a Shooter that works well with the green OG kind of lineup, because we've got a Night Force Shooter, which is amazing. I'm well into her, but yeah. Oh, Flash, Zap, Grand Slam. Is that it? Is that it? It's crazy. Great shots as well. I've got to again shout out to Shooting the Galaxy, I imagine, on this one, and like Corey and Matt probably worked on these. They're phenomenal. And then we have a shot here to show the blast effect working with the mortar there and the launcher, which is nice. I have looked in the background, but not like super close. So you guys may have found stuff, but I have not found any sort of cheeky homage or like a sneaky little drop, yeah, or like a hidden character. But yeah, if you do see anything, let me know. Chris, that Predator shout out sounds like it's time for an Arnie impression, says Tac Tac Toys. Yeah, these photos are dramatic, says Jordan. Sean says the unmasked copperheads were version 3 and version 6, and version 6 looks Python Patrol, so that could be cool. Yes, indeed. We're talking about doing a water moccasin before. That's what that is. It's in the trees. Snake armor, says RKW. Of course, yeah. The snake armor's everywhere. Here's another shot of the two lads on both sides here, in different poses, utilizing different equipment. There you go. And here we see Short-Fuse utilizing the shovel, which I think they can both use. They can use whatever accessories they want in the 2-pack, but it did seem to me like in the way they'd laid it out in the package that the shovel went to Steeler. Again, not that that's matters, but it's just pedantic, that is. But there you see, either of them can use a shovel, I'm pretty sure. And then finally this shot of them firing the mortar with a bit of smoke knocking about, which is really cool. Great shots, love them. And of course we have seen these Sean, we talked about that. That's on the render, not in the promo images. I'm talking about specifically the promo images, where these kind of live action images. We just did a whole thing about the mass device elements and the car and everything earlier in the episode. So yeah, we're aware that is a thing. But what I mean is we haven't seen any hidden kind of gems in the toy photography that we get with Shooting the Galaxy and Corey from Hasbro. These pics sell this 2-pack, says Jedi Ben. I agree on that one. Mark says, I can definitely see an invisible predator in the background. Can't we all? Need that E-tool to dig the cat hole, says Jeff. Indeed. And there you go. Now, I think that's pretty much everything for Short-Fuse and Steeler. As I said before, stay frosty. Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, just in case. I have a feeling we'll probably be seeing it then. And of course, like I said, premium pulse usually as well at the same time. Keep an eye open is all I'll say. Make sure you're ready, because I won't hear we didn't know anything about this if you've watched this and listened to me say it over and over again. Jonathan, we'll move on to the Ghost Viper now, which is amazing. No, Jonathan, Ghost Viper is a Walmart exclusive, not an SDCC exclusive. So this is a Walmart exclusive. This will probably be going up for Walmart CollectorCon. I thought this was a little early to be seeing the promo images, so either we've got them early with this eBay listing, or um, they plan to drop this as as early as the Short-Fuze and Steeler 2-pack. So I don't know is the answer to this one. I was just expecting this over the next Walmart CollectorCon, which I believe is around the same time as NYCC, isn't it? Kind of like the 9th of October, in and around that time, I want to say. So yeah, that's all. I don't know. I'm not as clear on this one as I feel on Short-Fuze and Steeler. So again, just stay frosty. If we get any information, I will try and share it as best I can. But yeah, as for right now, I don't know when this one's going up, other than I expected it to be Walmart CollectorCon. Now, great. Do you know what strikes me when I first saw the package? I'm like, oh, it looks like a GI Joe Christmas like a special figure because of the red and the green, and that bit on the left that looks like a Christmas tree. But obviously, no, it's just the color combinations. And it just reminded me because obviously they do this with Star Wars, don't they? It kind of feels like they're sneaking in an Halloween or Christmas or holiday special is what they're doing, and they're doing it in like a cheeky way that doesn't outright say it. But I'm here for it because one, this set is banging. And one of my favorite things I can see right there is that skull emblazoned onto the kind of the mask, the chrome, or the front mask of the Viper head is so cool. Sean says, thankfully, JoJo hasn't done the seasonal Joes like Star Wars. I gotta admit, though, I do like those Star Wars ones. I do. I'm really tempted to buy them just as decoration more than anything else. Anyway, here's a shot of the back of the package, and again, it's the same environment that we saw on the back of the Night Force 2-pack, Beachhead and Quick Kick, because obviously it's the same theme, so it's the same environment. The back of the building, the dumpsters there as well. Now, I did an unboxing of this, the Beachhead Quick Kick 2-pack very recently, but it's not, or I don't talk on it. It's just a like a quick vertical unboxing. But on there, you can see clearly what that was on the dumpster. Now, we thought initially, based on the poor images, that it was the iguana from from the Battle Armor Cobra Commander figure, the Serpentor. But no, it appears to be Crystal Ball on the top of the dumpster on the Quick Kick and Beachhead box. And of course, what we were seeing as well on that box art was the Cthulhu shadow on the wall, which again we don't see here, but sort of goes towards that whole dire sort of thing as this particular Ghost Viper is following Beachhead and Quick Kick in that sort of narrative that we're seeing with these packages. But yeah, I love this, and it's just crazy the amount of cool things that it comes with. Again, call outs being the snake head, the Viper head with the skull emblazoned on it, and the whatever that is. I can't tell what that bottom part is. Maybe just a blast effect, but yeah, amazing nonetheless. But yeah, there you go. And then of course this is what it comes with. Oh, it is the blast effect, isn't it? It's that thick, puffy blast effect on near the actual figure on the left of to the left of the figure. Then we've got all of the elements that it comes with. We've got that backpack and cable or pipe or hose is the word I'm looking for. The different the action figure snake head, the two different kind of heads. You've got that sort of like really cool steampunky future, but like futuristic at the same time, sort of like head, the default one, which looks amazing, by the way, kind of very Data Vipery, that one. And then you've got that what's it called? Yeah, and then you've got the Viper with the skull on it as well, which is just phenomenal. You've also got, as a head, specifically a head sculpt, a wolf as well. So this comes with effectively 4 head sculpts, and then you've got, for the figure, then you've got the snake in that translucent plastic that I think is the same as the Serpentor snake, isn't it? I think. Timber reuse, of course, but in, the different color, and one of the meanest looking alt heads ever as well. Oh, sorry, I tell a lie. Yeah, the one, it's all the way to the right, is the action figure head, with those kind of like crazy underbite, like gnashes, and then the one on the left of that is the alternate head for Timber, the dire Timber, the angry one, and the regular, the default one. They also have the 2 little fart blast effects to put up Timber's bum. I'm just kidding. I don't know what they're. I think they're just for the end of the end of the rifles. You've got the major blast effects, and then you've got those hand effects as well, which go over. Or I think that you take the hands out, you unplug the hands from the figure, and then you plug those hands in, and that sort of element goes around the arms as well. So lots of really like cool parts and pieces with this one. Then we get all of the weapons. We've got that sort of is that that's the water pistol that Barbecue has, isn't it? That attaches to his hose, I want to say. Then you've got the rifle, which we've seen before, the 2 rifles we've seen before, I believe, and the pistol, which I'm sure is not new either. And the goggles to go with the skeletal mask head as well, which is crazy. And I think that's all the elements that it comes. That's a lot of cool gear that it comes with. I think it's green fart effects. Yeah. Very Ninja Turtles, almost mutagen like. The plastic looks cool, says Jordan. Yeah, definitely. Are these actually glow in the dark? I don't believe they glow in the dark. No, they're the same as crystal balls, so they're just light. They light up nicely. The only glow in the dark stuff I think is it Snake Eye's hands are glow in the dark? I want to say. I can't remember. Something's glow in the dark, but it ain't crystal ball and it ain't the dire wraith. It's not the dire equipment. The small ones plug into the gloves. Are they not just for the ends of the barrels to make it look like it's like, coming to a close, or like, we'll have a look at some of the images anyway. Here's the image of the kind of figure all geared up to some degree. Obviously there's elements not on show here. And then we have all of the different promo images, which are just phenomenal. Here is my favorite head sculpt of the kind of like setup. Oh, thank you so much, Destro Designs, for the super chat. I nearly missed that. Very, very appreciative of that, mate. Thanks for hopping on, Chris. I love this look at the Killer 2-pack. I can't wait for them. Everyone have a great day. You too, and thank you very much for that very generous super chat. And I nearly missed as well. I don't know how I missed that. Anyway, I've missed a lot of comments. I apologize. We'll have to keep moving though. Sorry, guys. And then we have this. This is a really good shot here of the kind of wolf howling to the moon. Amazing stuff. Again, some sort of like kind of default Viper looks here. And then here you can see. Oh, I see. Yeah, plug into like those. So like the 2 little fart effects plug into the wrists, as you can see there, like to make it look like they're releasing gas, basically like a build up maybe inside the suit. Very cool indeed. I like that a lot. Yeah, completely forgot about that aspect, because we have seen some of these promo images before, not all of them, but we've seen some of them. But yeah, very cool. And there you can see 2 examples of those like little sort of like vented mini fart effects. I'm calling them fart effects because that's what they look like, and I think that's hilarious. And then more beautiful shots of these fantastic kind of figures. This is definitely one where I think you're going to want to try and get at least a couple, just so you can really go to town on trying some of these little options out. But it's definitely an army builder that leans into buying multiples, isn't it? I mean, there are some where you can just get like a couple, and then there are some way like, okay, well, 4 different head sculpts, fantastic. That means that means I've really got to go to town on these, and it makes it difficult with them being exclusive as well. So yeah, I don't think many people are going to be able to necessarily have the ability to get multiples of these, but let's hope they can. Sean says, well, with his helmet on, he might be venting the gas for atmospheric condition for the nightmares. Yeah, possibly. I love all of the effects they've used in these pictures as well, like that, aren't technically part of the figures or don't come with the figures. But again, and the lighting is beautiful as well. Absolutely phenomenal. Do you think we should anticipate instant ship from Pulse since these are already in the country? I wouldn't say immediately, Michael. I think if they get released in October, which is what I expect, in that kind of period around New York Comic Con for Walmart CollectorCon, then I would expect them to be somewhat rapid in their shipping. But the eBay listing stated between November and December, so there's a likelihood that they might still be pre-order until they can get their logistics sorted out. But yeah, it could be. They could very well be. It's likely. Well, Python is going to be in stock, isn't she? And so is, I think, Short-Fuze and Steeler are in country as well. I mean, they're all in country. It just depends on a lot of different things. But yeah, I'd see. We'll have to see, won't we? I can imagine these would go well with Crystal Ball. Well, Simon, I would imagine because they're sharing the same dire technology. So yeah, these almost feel like Crystal Ball's troops to me. And anyway, speaking of recent US port arrivals, that's all we have for the promo images, of course. You can check them out on our socials, of course, posted on Instagram and Facebook and stuff for a little bit of a closer look. And of course, yeah, recent US port arrivals came in a couple of days ago, I want to say, is the retro green shirt, green or G.I. Joe Trooper, but green shirt fit in the graphic a lot easier. So I just put that in. But yeah, this is Retro AN Scratch and Sniff, cracking internal code name that. So yeah, we know these are in now. So again, like not too long before we start seeing these shipping for pre-orders now as well. Right then, I think that's everything. I'm going to call it an evening on this one because obviously I've got other things to do. But I will be back for. What will I be back for? Well, if they drop on Friday, I'll see you on Friday. And if anything else happens this week, I'll probably see you then. And if I don't see you before that happens, then I'll probably see you for the actual weekly itself. Before I go, I'm going to quickly have a word from our sponsor. Then I'll come back. We'll have a quick look at the listings for anyone interested, and then we'll call it a day. So let's do it. There you go. Yeah, go check out the deluxe Treasury editions of the Battle Action Force comics. They're amazing. Go check them out. Skeletron.com in the US, and of course, you're in the UK and Europe. Check out TotalToyBooks.com and get them there instead. Now, leak listings before we go, and just the kind of official name onlys and all that kind of good stuff that we can talk about. No changes since I last spoke to you guys. Obviously, the police ESU figure looks like it's going to be going up soon, either this week or next week. And if it does, we will report on it, of course. If we flip on over, obviously, like I just said, Short-Fuze and Steeler, I fully expect them. I will change the spelling. I have the FUSE going on. Of course, I realize that. I'll change it to Z or Z, depending on where you're from. But yes, Short-Fuze and Steeler, I'm expecting that Friday morning, Target Full Geek Out with Pulse as well. So that's what I'm fully expecting. If there's hopefully, well, I kind of hope Hasbro do some sort of like heads up maybe, but I don't know, because they have had issues in the past with that, like especially with the wreckage in the Tiger Paw. Like that was like a drop out of nowhere, and everyone was so mad because it was like just no heads up at all. And I get it. I get it. Crusty Old Crow says the ESU figure is on shelf in Canada as of yesterday at GameStop. Crazy pants. So yeah, I think we can start probably expecting to see that right now, ish, at least in Canada anyway. Jordan says, I really respect the passion you have for this brand. Great work. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that very much. And I loved you in New Kids on the Block. And when you did Give It To You, which was one of my favorite old school tunes. And then, of course, Ghost Viper and Dire Beasts, sort of up in the air at the moment. I still expect Walmart CollectorCon, but seeing as the images have leaked so soon, you get the feeling it might be coming a bit sooner. So we'll just have to see, won't we? And other than that, Python, of course, the full convention exclusive, followed by Pulse, of course, after the fact. You can expect her, obviously, to do that very soon. 9th to the 11th, I want to say, for the NYCC and MCM London. So that will be where Python is available, and then Pulse following that. Usually like the Tuesday following the convention is when it goes up, but we don't know yet. Everything else is as you were. We don't know who Chairface is. We don't know who the unknown vehicle is. And Ralph T is now an inactive listing, not a cancelled figure, just an inactive listing, which means that it was bumped to the next retro, I imagine. And obviously, all we know at the moment on 2026 listings is Lifeline, Night Viper, Hit and Run, Big Lob, Iceberg. We know what their listings are. We don't know if that's the order they're going to be coming out or not. And we know Taurus and Red Dog as the 2-pack. And we know that the Snowcat is Gleep. Everything else, we'll just have to wait and see. And hopefully they'll have more name-only reveals to work with in the coming weeks after, the NYCC panel and all that good stuff. Name-only reveals currently, the official ones, as we've just seen on the listings prior, are Lifeline, Hit and Run, Iceberg, Taurus and Red Dog, and Big Lob, with Night Viper for Cobra. So hoping for a few more Cobra name drops over NYCC. And who knows, that panel might give us a lot of these in render format, if not all of them. And then we might have a whole new array of name-onlys to get stuck into, which will be amazing. And then on top of that, here are the remaining digital renders, not too far away. We're getting closer and closer to having these at pre-order phase, aren't we? The police officer seems to be out there now, especially in Canada. But like I said, from like a online retailer situation, I don't think any of the listings have popped up yet. Short-Fuze and Steeler, I'm expecting Friday. Python are over NYCC, and of course Ghost Viper with Dire, sort of up in the air at the moment, but I'm still expecting Walmart CollectorCon for that one as well. Right then, nice stream. That was fun. I'll see you guys on the next one. Might be this week, might be the weekly, who knows, but I'll see you at some point. Stay fresh, cheese bags, and as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full force.